Hello, everybody, and welcome to MightyOxTrading. Today, we have something very serious that I want to talk to you about: the formation of a possible PropFirm cartel. And yeah, that word's kind of sensational. It's not the goal. It is what I feel this could turn into if it comes to fruition. So we need to talk about it, and we need to talk about why we as traders need to try to do what we can to stop this from forming in the way it's being planned at this point in time. Thank you for joining me today. So first, we're going to talk about this tweet that's next to me here, to the left. I think it's the left, that way. That Michael Patak sent out yesterday, Tuesday the 22nd. Self-regulation of the futures industry. Attention futures prop owners, executives. I sent out the first email kickstarting the conversation on development of an SRO. If you didn't receive this email and are a futures prop exec owner, DM me your email, building forward together. Now, an SRO, by the way, is a self-regulatory organization. Basically means, regulating itself, which is, and all of this sounds wonderful, doesn't it? We all know the prop firm world could use some additional safeguards and parameters. I will never argue that point at all. Not one bit. But those safeguards and parameters should not be spearheaded by one of the biggest names in the industry or anyone that has a financial skin in the game. So I will talk about why Michael Patak is a bad choice altogether to lead this. But take that also is I would balk at any prop firm owner, CEO, executive, whatever, leading something like this because it's problematic. Let's actually go. I'm going to show you another tweet here. This is from my good friend JMU that he tweeted in response to this yesterday on his Twitter. And you should follow his Twitter. I'm going to give a quick plug here. Follow his Twitter. This guy posts up all the information about all the legal stuff going on in the industry, FTT, Apex, day traders, all that. In-depth stuff. Great to follow if you're into the prop firm world and want to know the news outside of just the sales. Great guy to follow. Puts a lot of time and effort into this. It's at JMU Trades, but I'll put the link to his Twitter in the video description below. Anyway, so let's read off this tweet from JMU. The wolf wants to guard the henhouse. TopStep CEO Michael Patak is now pushing to form a self-regulatory organization for the futures prop firm space, led by, you guessed it, other prop firm CEOs. Sounds noble, right? Do you realize that this industry regulation effort is being spearheaded by the same folks who stand to benefit from silencing competition, setting the rules, and picking winners and losers? Let's be clear. When competitors come together to set industry standards without oversight, that's not reform, it's coordination. Actually, I use the term collusion anyway. And this screams antitrust. Who decides what firms and policies are legit? Who gets locked out for not playing along? When competitors start coordinating behind closed doors, it's not for the good of the industry. It's a power grab. And unless an independent third party is running the show, this kind of backroom club smells more like a cartel than a code of ethics. What he calls self-regulation starts to look more like self-preservation. Without real oversight, it's the same players guarding their own interests and not the traders. Traders deserve transparency, not protectionist gatekeeping. I actually did a video last night on this. Came across, after getting done, I felt like I rambled. I came across JMU's tweet and I just tossed that whole video and decided to redo it after reading what JMU said because he said everything better than what I did. And I'm just going to expand on this some. Everything he said was right there. Let's talk about Top Step Michael Patak himself. I want to be very clear. I like Michael Patak. I think he's done great things. Obviously, he's helped create this industry. He's done great things to expand this industry, at least from the start. But in my opinion, Michael Patak doesn't do anything that doesn't benefit Top Step and Michael Patak first and foremost. To me, this regulatory agency that he wants to make, he knows there's two companies that will not become part of it. He knows that there's no way My Funded Futures will become part of it. He knows there's no way Apex would. Matt Leach would rather be waterboarded than to be involved with anything that Michael Patak's involved with. These two have been an adversary and thorn in his side for a long time. Apex came in the game and they changed the game. And Michael Patak was barely seen for a couple of years while Apex technically languished. They lost market share. I don't know how far they fell in market share. I don't have those numbers. But it's interesting to me that, I was once a Top Step affiliate, and I was told in the summer of 2022 that they expected regulators to come in and wipe out Apex, and that their Apex problem would go away within a matter of months. When that didn't happen, within a matter of months, suddenly Top Step 1 did one step, one rule. You would not have Top Step, one rule if Apex wasn't around, if Apex hadn't changed the game. And if My Funded Futures hadn't come in, also putting pressure on Top Step. Now, so Michael Patak did not do anything to really evolve the industry beyond his creation of it. And he's been mad ever since that Top Step has had to evolve around these other changes. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I will make that 100% clear. So this is, in my opinion, first and foremost, a way to finally get at these companies that have made him make changes that maybe he didn't want to make. Once again, I have tremendous respect for Michael Patak. Top Step TV is a wonderful idea. You now see everybody and their brothers trying to emulate. But just, I think JMU said it best, the wolf wants to guard the henhouse. The collusion factor here, when a big CEO wants to suddenly help the smaller CEOs, smaller companies, it just doesn't sit well. And I'm surprised that these smaller companies that I thought were smarter, maybe they're just that desperate, that they're struggling and think that this is going to be something that'll help them against, the bigger competition in some way. Maybe they're that desperate that this is what they have to do to hold on. I hope not. Because like I said, it's just not, I don't understand why anyone would think this is a good idea. And we talk about transparency, in follow-up tweets, Michael Patak said, transparency, everything like that. Top Step's not transparent now. They make changes on a whim, which is fine. I have nothing against changes if it makes a prop firm be more, sustainable. Sorry. But why not, Project X, Top Step X? Why doesn't Top Step admit that they have some sort of interest in Project X? Any firm you see that has Project X already has some sort of connection with Top Step, whether that firm realizes it or not. You know who is in charge, or one of the bigwigs at Project X? Casey McIntosh, who was my affiliate manager at Top Step. While they don't have a controlling interest, according to my industry sources, they do have an interest. The controlling interest is with Plus 500, which is the brokerage behind, Project X. But how much data and how much information is being fed to Patak, and don't think data doesn't have a lot of money behind it. It's why I will never use a Project X with any other prop firm besides TopStep, because they don't deserve free data. Data is one of the most important, one of the most useful things to a company, any company in the world right now. Getting data on how traders trade, getting data on their, everything. That's useful and it's sellable. So, if you want to be, want to talk about, transparency. Sorry, I'm tripping over my own words. I don't usually do videos in the afternoon. Transparency. Let's be transparent about everything first so we can believe that you're going to be transparent. I just don't think this is going to be good for the industry. I think you're going to see changes that are non-trader friendly. What's to stop them from sharing data, customer data, any of this other stuff? They say they won't. Don't get me wrong. They'll say they won't. But what's to stop them? Backdoor deals happen. I mean, they can happen without this agency, obviously, and they probably are. Like I said, any company now that has Project X, you should be suspicious of. But I still use those companies. I still promote those companies. I'm not worried about that. But I am worried about the formation of a PropFirm cartel. So, the question is, what should regulation look like? And you know what? I really don't have an answer for that, because it should not be run by the prop firms. But I don't know who else, outside of the CME. And obviously everyone's afraid of the CME coming in and making changes that no one likes. But we've heard this whole regulation thing for a year now. And nothing's happened. And if Patak is looking to form a self-regulatory organization, at this point, he must not think anything's imminent, because, or else, I don't, we've been, like I said, we've been hearing it a year. It seems like a boogeyman that everyone's just trying to get everyone else to be afraid of. Nothing's happened. But yes, there's regulation here. I mean, we have a lot of new prop firms coming in. There's going to be bad actors. We've already seen bad actors. We've seen failures. And failures and bad actors can be two different things. And they can even be the same thing. A business that fails doesn't necessarily have to be a bad actor. But we do need some trader protections, and I don't know where that comes from. Who outside of this this industry could be in the lead? Before the sale, I might have said maybe someone from Ninja Trader or TraderBait. But now I have no idea how that works at Kraken. I just don't know. I would love to see the prop firms come together and come up with a set of standards, but not in a colluding type of way. I don't even know where that would come from either. A CEO of my Discord, because we have these kind of conversations on my Discord, so I should join. Yesterday said about some things he would like to see, like whenever a prop firm denies a payout or cancels an account, they give the trader the exact trades that they went wrong on, or the exact reason, the exact rule. No gray areas, black and white. Things like that would be great. But no one should be deciding exact parameters. And it's just a dangerous area of trying to lock out other companies that don't want to exactly conform to whatever this cartel comes up with. And does the cartel, start pressuring them? It's just dangerous. So, and if they do come out with any type of organization, the fact that they're only doing prop firm CEOs or prop firm executives, no. It should involve traders too. Traders that have been in this industry for a while. And I want to make it clear here that should not be people like me. It should not be affiliates who also have a financial skin in this game. While I think I have some good ideas that could be used, it should be traders that are just traders. People that have been around the game for 5, 6, 7 years. My nomination, if anyone knows my Discord, would be Greg Trades YM, who has common sense approaches to most things and has seen almost everything in this industry. It's been in this industry for, as a trader, I don't know, for a long, long time. I'm not even sure how long, but 5 years at least. You've got to involve the traders as well. These are the people being affected. If you want to be really open and transparent, if you really want to change the game, then you've got to involve the traders in your decision making, in your conversations. Find 5 traders, 10 traders, and have them meet with them on a regular basis before any decisions are made to see how they feel about it, how they feel it would affect them, and then go from there. That way, at least if this does end up getting any traction, and it shouldn't, if it does get any traction, at least there's the trader side that should be getting listened to, and we get at least we get that. But I'm reaching out to you today because I don't get sensational on a lot of things. You don't see me put out a lot of videos like this. I'm not one to jump up and down and say, oh my God, oh my God. So that, this is important to me. You know how much when I saw this, it scared the bejesus out of me. And I said, this needs to be addressed. And I actually, addressed it on Twitter, first of all. And then I knew I needed to make a video. Reach out to your companies. Reach out to your prop firms. Tell them you do not want them to be part of the PropFirm Cartel. I like to call it Patak Cartel, but we'll call it the PropFirm Cartel. Tell them you do not want this to happen. Tell them you don't trust this. And let them know. Now, please do not use support. Don't clog up support lines. But use social media. Tag them on social media. Use their Discords, etc. Don't clog up their support. Don't make things hard on traders who need legitimate support. But reach out to your props, especially ones that already are involved with Project X, that already have Project X as a platform, and tell them you want no additional collusion with Michael Patak and TopStep, or any potential PropFirm cartel that involves them. We can fight this. And we can, as traders and affiliates and good CEOs even, probably figure out a way to come up with something that might work in place of this. But for now, this needs to be stopped, nipped in the bud before it goes further. Tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. I think that's all I got. You don't usually see my face this big on a video. That's how you know this was important to me. I hope you find it important too. And let me know what you think. That's all I got. Hope you have a great day.